Politics is a game. And politics is a very dirty game. Was there any plans or grand schemes to drag the name of the Deputy President William Ruto into this Rashid Echesa saga? Because I've analyzed this saga and I'm coming to two conclusions. Number one, either this was just a normal deal, business deal, but it has been thwarted because the system has realized that if it went through, the biggest beneficiary was going to be the Deputy President William Ruto. And we all know that as things stand today in this country, the system is not keen on anything which can benefit the Deputy President, especially as far as 2022 politics is concerned. This was a 40 billion tender project or tender deal. If it went through and the commissions were shared the way it was intended, the DP was going to benefit in raising campaign money. So that's something I'm trying to look at. Number two, I'm also looking at it as a con game, just an ordinary con game. But the people behind it, because it was high-tech con game, used their connections and links at the office of the Deputy President to execute this deal. And that's why the Deputy President must come out very strongly to talk about this deal. So my theories are two. Either it was real but has been thwarted, or two, it was just a pure con game. But the Deputy President, William Ruto, must find time, stop his campaigns, and fix this mess. Because why am I saying that? Something tells me that there's a possibility that his name is being dragged into this. Let us look at three things which I observed. And there are basically questions I want to ask. The first question is, who circulated the photos of Rashid Echesa and these businessmen to the public or to the media? Remember, when Echesa was arrested, it was alleged that these investors were also at the Deputy President's office. So Echesa was arrested in the streets of Nairobi. And people were asking so many questions. Then all of a sudden, the photos of Echesa and these guys started circulating. And basically, when I saw them at first, I thought maybe it's some Java or Chalice, ile opposite City Hall. And I was like, what is it? But then they kept on circulating the photos of Echesa and other guys in Poland. I mean, basically just being oriented or being shown around the equipments. So who circulated that photo or those photos? That's the question number one. Number two, where is the statements by these investors? Because according to information which was circulated, was that these guys were going to seal the deal at the office of the Deputy President in the presence of the DP. But because the DP was in Kandara, I think on that day, they were told the DP was not going to be available. Where is their statement? Because from their statements, then we can also learn a lot. And the third question I'm asking, who is trying to drag the name of June Ruto into all this? I'm asking that because yesterday June Ruto was actually trending on Twitter. Who is trying to drag the name? So because of those three questions, I think the deputy president must come out very strongly and respond to some of these questions. Because I watched, he posted something on Twitter yesterday, which really shocked me. And these are some of the things which confirms that probably the DP is trying to defend these people. He's saying, because yesterday the Standard had a headline which was like detective probe Ruto's aid over 40 billion. Ruto's aid, not Ruto. And Ruto is saying on Twitter, the aspirations of my political competitors on the choreographed smear campaigns against William Ruto is evident, even for fools, whom we have a shortage for, to see. Wait and see where this will end up. Washindwe. Go for the fraudsters. Leave me to serve the nation. He's telling the whole country that these guys should leave him to serve the country. Well, this is a very serious matter. We have foreigners going into his office, striking deals there, but he's saying he should be left to serve the nation. That these guys should go for the fraudsters. The alleged fraudsters are also alleged to have operated from his office. So I think he must start looking at the bigger picture and respond accordingly. Now let us go back to what he posted today. Let's go back to what he posted today. There's something he posted. Okay, he's saying the office of the deputy president does not procure any ministry or department. Question: other than 23 minutes in annex for months, which government offices involved in the tender did the scammers visit? So in this tweet, the DP is confirming to the whole country that these guys were at annex for 23 minutes. Probably is confirming that because the investigators went and picked the CCTV cameras from that office. And is continuing, did they access DOD? Who facilitated? Who did they meet? Get the truth. Forget the sponsored nonsense in the media. So the DP believes that these are sponsored nonsense in the media. Personally, I have a different opinion. The deputy president should do two things. Let the investigators do their work. If there are elements in his office, let them be kicked out. And two, he can choose to respond in a more professional way. What he's doing basically is just being defensive. We are talking of the office of the deputy president. Because personally, I've never seen the DP meeting in his office. He's basically nowadays meeting in Karen. So what normally happens in this other office, the official office? But then, there are also questions which he must ask. And Kenyans must ask. Why did this conman pick on the office of the deputy president? Why did they choose that office? Why not any other office? Because even the DP is asking DOD, why were they operating from the office of the deputy president? My theory is very simple. Number one, these guys wanted legitimacy. That deal is big. That's why they said the DP was going to be present during the signing. You know, normally that's how these wise men operate in these cities. So the moment these guys were arrived at the airport, they were picked in police vehicles and escorted straight to the deputy president's office. But why did they pick? Why did the conmen pick DP's office? Because likely that's where they operate from. Or alternatively, they have friends there who are part of this game. And that's basically why they picked that office. The other question which the DP must ask himself and respond to is, how did foreigners access his office without his authority? Why? How did they access that office? It's basically because these guys have been operating from there. And Kalembe Ndile made a statement which is still sinking in me. I want you to listen to Kalembe Ndile very briefly.
Sema hivi, kama Kalembe Ndile niseme, hii ofisi ya Deputy President, mimi ni mkaaji wa Kibwezi, mimi nilikuwa mbunge Kibwezi, na imetudhuru kwa sababu hapo pia ndio kulikoniwa rafiki yangu anaitwa Makindu Motors ambao ni Steven Ngei. Alikoniwa zaidi ya milioni 200 na watu ambao walimpea tenda ya kusupply laptops. Na wali supply wakapeleka hapa kwa Deputy President. Na sasa hii kitu ya jana ni kitu ingine ya kurudia ya waziri akiwa ameshikwa na anapatikana pia akitumia hii ofisi ya Deputy President kulagai watu wengine wa nchi zingine.
Now, from Kalembe Ndile's statement alone, it is clear that these are not the first people to be conned in that office. And probably they are not going to be the last. But the DP should ask himself how foreigners could access his office, which is highly protected, hold meetings in his boardroom without his authority. Because my understanding is that that office is for the deputy president. Any meeting happening there, if there's a meeting in that boardroom, that meeting should have his authority. So he must ask himself that question. The other question he must ask himself is, was someone trying to drag Ruto's family into this saga? And for what benefit? And this is why before I go into that, why is the family being dragged? If you checked yesterday, June Ruto was trending. Why? Because people were claiming that when she was in Italy, the Aror and Kimware Dam happened. Now she's in Poland, and this Echesa saga is happening. Already by that alone, she's been dragged into this whole mess. And who is this trying to drag the name of June Ruto? And that's why I insist that the DP must ask himself several questions. If Echesa went to Poland, who received him at the airport? Who accompanied him at the airport? And what are the dates? And where was June Ruto during that entire visit? Because these things happened from October. And I remember seeing a post where someone captured Echesa. Basically, I think Echesa took some photos, or those investors took photos, and someone shared them in November 2019. So those are some of the questions the DP must ask himself. And lastly, William Ruto must also ask himself a very simple question. What is the system interest in this matter? Is it to investigate, or is it to use it to finish him politically? Without answering those questions strongly, the DP will remain as guilty as charged. But again, if you look at this scandal very closely, it's not new. It's not new. This is something which has been happening right inside the deputy president's office, if you monitor it very keenly. And why is this office turning out to be the headquarters of scammers? And I want to tell you one thing, that the system has been looking for ways of dealing with the Deputy President William Ruto. That's why when you look at all the corruption scandals in this country, all of them are always directed to him. But they have not been able to link him directly, especially his office. But this time around, the system is succeeding in linking. If these meetings happened and they have the CCTV cameras, then it means they shall have succeeded in linking that office directly to these scandals. And you know the end game. Let me just read for you a part of the Standard newspaper today, because Standard is what Ruto has been calling propaganda. Now they are saying, of key interest, sources said, are 3 top officials of the office who by virtue of their positions ought to have been in the know when such deals was being struck. These are long-time personal aide of the DP, Farouk Kibet. When you talk of Farouk Kibet, that you are talking of DP Ruto. In fact, I remember Duale at one point saying clearly that when you see Kibet, you see Ruto. Then there's the Chief of Staff, Ken Osindo. Then there's the Private Secretary, Ruben Mayo. If those 3 guys will be found to be part of this con game, then the DP is finished politically. The system is not going to deal with him for once and for all. And that's my take. I don't know what you think. And if you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and hit the subscribe button, so that next time we produce a video like this, you'll get notified. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without your support, this channel would not be where it is. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. And by the way, the request I always make here, help me create interactions. Thumbs up, thumbs down. But the best one is just drop me your comments. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day.